What is up, A-Team? Welcome back. Awesome, Austin here. Hope everyone's having an awesome day. So yes, this is for my XRP army out there. I think it's important that we keep talking about XRP because a lot of us are invested into XRP early on, and even people that are just jumping into XRP, they're all wondering, why is the market in red? Why are we seeing this major downturn in the market today, and maybe even into this week and last week? One thing is, I know that we've been talking about this on the channel. All of our lives, I've been bringing up the fact that there could be a downturn in the market, and that's just really what history has been telling us. And I think it's important for us to actually point this out, that if you go back and you look, right here, you can actually see that the last halving was over here in 2016 and going into 17. Inauguration day, 2 weeks before inauguration day, we had a 35% decrease in the market the first 2 weeks of January in 2017. Fast forward all the way to January of 2021, which is the next inauguration day when Biden came in. You can see that that first 2 weeks of January decreased in Bitcoin by 36%. And now you can see right now we are literally a week away from Trump coming into office, and we are already down 10% in the second week of January. So history is showing us that the first 2 weeks of January, going into Inauguration Day, that there's actually 2 weeks of decline in the markets. And right now, that is what's trending. As you can see, the markets are in red. Earlier today, Ethereum dropped below 3,000. So you can see that we were having some massive manipulations in the market, below 3,000 for Ethereum. In addition to that, you can see right now, Bitcoin dropped below 89,000. It actually created a new low in this cycle right now, which is kind of crazy, dipping back below $89,000. That just sort of blew my mind. And a lot of that has to do with good old Jamie Dimon here. As you guys know, this is one of the leaders of the biggest banks in the world right now, in Chase Bank. And, he continues to come out here and talk about how Bitcoin and how cryptocurrency is just a Ponzi scheme. So as much as he has actually come out here and said that it's good to some degree and it's good to have blockchain, it's good to have crypto, he is still continuing to push the messaging that there is no intrinsic value with anything crypto related, specifically Bitcoin. And he come out and basically said that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme and that has no intrinsic value. And that came out today, January 13th, 2025. And this is not the first time that he's actually said this. So again, you got a lot of these giant companies out here, CEOs that are still coming out here pushing down on Bitcoin and crypto. So there's people that are still fearful to invest into crypto because of people like Jamie Dimon who influence people to feel a certain way about it. One thing I can point out here too is that Michael Saylor did come out here and actually bought up another $243 million in Bitcoin. And one thing we can say is that when Michael Saylor buys Bitcoin, he usually buys the top of Bitcoin at that cycle. And it's kind of crazy how that works out. And if you don't believe me, you can actually go look at the chart, which Michael Saylor posted himself here. And all these green dots right here are where MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor have purchased. And I mean, you can just go right here, right? He bought here, it decreased. You go over here, he bought here, it's decreased. I mean, even when he bought here, it decreased down. And he accumulated over here. But it's funny, when you start to watch this, he bought here, it dips down. Every time he seems to buy, we have a massive dip in the market. He bought up here and it's dipped down. And so again, every time Michael Saylor seems to buy, he seems to buy the top. But it doesn't matter because the guy is accumulating as much as he possibly can of Bitcoin. That's sort of what he does. And so you can't knock him for doing that, but it is funny how he continues to buy the tops of this. And so when you go back and you look at Bitcoin, this is him buying today, and it's actually decreased massively in the market. So that's another negative thing here in the market when it comes to sort of what's going on here. You got a lot of manipulations from outside influences, like I said, like a good old Jamie Dimon here. And again, although he actually believes that Bitcoin and crypto is good from a blockchain standpoint, it's not good in terms of holding currency because it actually doesn't hold any value. On the flip side of that, you have good old BlackRock out here who obviously believes in Bitcoin because they created the biggest ETF out there. And so I think that BlackRock has a little bit different tune than that, say, of Jamie Dimon themselves. Because again, it says right here, good old BlackRock helped propel BTC to a six-figure price by November of 2024. And I do agree that they actually helped propel that. So again, even though you have big companies like BlackRock pushing it, you will have other people that are against it, like a Warren Buffett as well. He's also against crypto. So with all that said, one thing I did want to point out here is that when you go back and you look, where is the future hold? Like, what are we looking at? Although we're down right now, the market's not looking that great. Again, roughly down 4% at the time of this filming. we go back and we look at what's the future going to hold in the next coming weeks, because we know that Trump is going to get elected here on January 20th. He's going to get inaugurated. He's going to actually step into office on January 20th, which is going to be a huge day for crypto. The first time that we've ever had a president step in who is pro-crypto and has an administration who is pro-crypto. So that's all positive. The other positive news here, though, is if you go back and you look at the history here, going into inauguration, you can see right here in January that we actually increased, as much as we had the 2 weeks of decline in January, we actually increased it by 31% back in 2017. And back in 2021, we jumped up 78%, even after the 2-week decline in 2021. And so as of right now, we're down about roughly 3%, now 10% as of today. But you can see here that we actually could have a nice little bounce back coming here in 2025 based off what history is telling us. And so I'm kind of excited to sort of see what the future is, because I do think that the future is bright for that of crypto, and even the future prices for XRP and things like that. I think that XRP has a really, really good chance of doing well in the upcoming weeks following inauguration. Also, one thing I want to point out here too is that this week is going to be a very volatile week. And the reason why I say that is because if you guys aren't following, you go over here to Market Watch, and this week has a lot of things coming out here. You can see that tomorrow we got the producer price index that's coming out here, the PPI, the core PPI. This is going to be a big number right now. You can see what they're forecasting here, about a 0.4%. So if anything deviates from this, whether negative or positive, will actually, affect the market. Because again, we're not just talking about crypto, we're also talking about the entire cryptocurrency market. And if you go back and you actually look at the markets, you can see that we're earlier on, we were falling with the NASDAQ right here, roughly down around 122 points at the time of this filming. And unfortunately, these continue to fall. Is that in correlation with the PPI? I don't know, but this is something to watch for tomorrow. We got the PPI coming in tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, we got a really big day on Wednesday. We got the consumer price index coming in here as well. I think this is something that you should be following too, because again, if the numbers deviate anything negative towards the market, we're going to probably have another sell-off in the market. Same with the PPI, which is up here on tomorrow. Also, here on Thursday, we got the jobless claims out here. So to see if we actually have, where the job market's at. We got U.S. retail sales, which could be big. We got import price index. I mean, Thursday's also another big day. Last but not least, we got the builder's confidence index. So when you think about builder confidence index, what does that actually mean? That means, are people actually out there building new homes? We knew that inflation has been high. And when inflation is high, that means that people are not really borrowing from the banks. We're not buying cars. We're not buying houses. The housing market's been a struggle. We've been kind of in this like almost bubble of the housing market. So if this comes in anywhere negative, we could actually see a downturn in the market again, just based off of that. And then last but not least, we do have what's right here on Friday coming up here, the housing starts and things like that, which again is in correlation with the builder's confidence index here. So this is actually a really, really big week, something that a lot of you, if you're new to crypto or new to this space, you should be watching this week. You should be very patient with your investments because again, any negative news that comes in here can cause the markets to decrease. And if we go back and we look at the history of where things have been, we can see that there has been a 35% decline in 2017 going into Inauguration Day. We have seen that there's about a 36% decline in 2021 right before inauguration. And right now we're down about 10%. So you could probably anticipate, based off history, that we could go down another 20% in the market. Do I want that? Absolutely not. I do not want that. I want to continue to be in the green. I want to continue to have our investments rise. Of course we want that. But again, I don't think that we should shy away from what history has always told us or is telling us right now. And so it's just something to watch out for. And so again, if you are new to crypto and new to this, I just think patience is a key thing in here. Trying to stay away from the fear, and the FOMO jumping into these things, because it can definitely wreck you. So just continue to watch this. Looking at Bitcoin right now, you can see it's actually kind of trying to come back up here on the 4-hour chart right here. The RSI is actually coming back up on the 4-hour. The 12-hour is looking a little bit more dismal. It's actually coming down slightly below the 20 right there. The day chart's also on its way down from a Bitcoin standpoint. When we look at XRP has actually been really resilient. Their pricing's actually been pretty dang good. A lot of us were hoping that we get back down here to the 225 range. That would be nice. Some people are hoping for the $2, which is a giant buy wall for XRP. We're sitting at roughly $2.46, which again, even after this massive sell-off this morning, getting down to roughly $2.33, we've actually climbed back up. And so when you're looking at the 12-hour chart here, 12 hours looking pretty good. Although the RSI is actually trending downward. Same with the 4-hour here. Although we're looking good on the 4-hour, we're starting to bounce back up here. We'll see what the next couple the next 4 hours looks like, even in the 12 hours. So that'll be interesting to follow. And last but not least, we're actually peaking out here on the day chart. So this will be an interesting next couple days. Again, continue to monitor the markets here. I'll put this link down below here, which shows you all the calendars and the forecasts of what's coming up here. You can click on it, you can actually watch it. So definitely click it down the link below. But as you guys know, a lot of this has to do with just market manipulation out there. You got a lot of big players out there, and Michael Saylor, you got Jamie Dimon out there, you got BlackRock out here that's really, swaying the markets one way or the other. Again, as much as us retail investors, we're just here for the ride. A lot of the institutional money is here pushing the markets and really dictating where they're going to go. And so you got to be prepared for that kind of stuff, and be prepared for the market to actually continue a downward trend if negative news comes out following this week of releases. So with all that, let me know your thoughts down below, where you actually think the markets are going to go. Are you on the sidelines waiting? And again, I want to point out, one thing I do want to point out here is that I do think that when Trump hits office here on January 20th, I do think that's a major catalyst for crypto. So again, even if I'm on the sidelines right now, waiting for the prices to sort of settle out, I will be jumping in at some time during this week and or weekend before Inauguration Day in anticipation that we're going to have a nice rally going into the rest of Q1 of 2025. So with all that, let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And with all that said, we're out. Peace out, everyone.